This next topic will go into how to get a list of materials and verify the status if they're deleted or not. And there's so many different reports in SAP for materials. So I'll just give you a couple examples of that, and then how to bring that information into an Excel template to manage it and then build it into a BOM. So the series of procedures. So one example of a material list is MM60. And what I like about this transaction, it has the maintenance plan. So I want to see all the materials from 1 to 5,000 in the material numbers, just as a demo, and execute. So this report has quite a few columns, but it doesn't have the column that I wanted to see if the material has been flagged for deletion. So if I didn't know of another report, I could copy these material numbers into an existing work order and see if they go in properly. If they don't, then they may have been either flagged for deletion or set to obsolete. If I know number 59, I know I set that one to be obsolete. So I'll give it as a demo. To select all of the column, I can hit the column selector. It doesn't work in all reports. Control Y allows me to select materials. So I'm just going to grab a few. So I'll just grab those 4. Control C to copy. And I'll launch a new session to show you how I can use a work order. I'll do a simple work order. I'll make a new one. And show you on the component page, if I paste those material numbers here, oh, you need the quantities also, so I'll start from the bottom and work up. Now, if I had a lot of material numbers to test, I would put that in an Excel spreadsheet where I have the quantity column as well. So then I'd grab the bunch. I'll show you that in a few minutes. So now I hit Enter key, and it'll tell me, oh, see, 59 is flagged for deletion. And this one here, oh, it doesn't have an item category set up in configuration. So that 59 one I know is not good. It's been flagged for deletion. So how would I do that to test all of these? Either you have a custom report built, or you can use one transaction to feed another. I can grab all these numbers, Control C, and go into another session with IH09. IH09, and I would paste in the multi-value, but I wouldn't paste with Control V. I would paste with the paste button. I'll prove it to you. If I go Control V, you'll see that it hasn't pasted all the numbers. It's only pasted into the visible cells. So the clipboard button does paste in all the numbers. They're all in there. So execute and execute again. So this report has this column, deletion flag. So I can see right away that that material has been deletion flagged without having to test it in a work order. So I want to grab these materials. Now I could sort so the deletion flag one is not there. Like it's off my list. Of course, I could sort in here as well with the sort buttons, or I'd right-click that one column and sort. So now I have my items sorted. Now, if I wanted to, I could also sort based on the 2 columns. That way, that deletion flag should be at the very bottom. So now I have the data the way I want it. I can export it to Excel with the calculator icon, or I can grab the data I want to bring over by selecting the columns, Control C. And if I just wanted some data, I can go Control Y and just highlight what I want. Now if I scroll down, I can get exactly what I want. So different ways of doing it. Anyway, I'll just grab and bring them into Excel, show you how I can manage it from there. So I can include the deletion flag. I can grab these columns. Now, I don't need the description unless I want to sort it. So I'm going to grab those columns, Control C. So I got all that data selected. I'm going to paste it in my Excel spreadsheet template. I'm going to clean that up a bit first. Okay, so if I paste that data in there, it's going to paste on top of my quantity, so I don't want that So I'm just going to paste it over here for a sec. And then say, okay, I don't want that row. So I could select. Now, if you had headers, you can filter, right? You can easily filter the data and say, I want to get rid of the X's. So I go data filter. So I just want to see the X's, because there may have been 5 or 6. I would delete the data. Now, if you delete this way, with the right click, delete, you can then shift the cells up. So I have my material numbers. I can go Control Shift down arrow, Control C, Control Home, and paste my material numbers there, Control V. And then I grab my descriptions, Control Shift down arrow, Control C, Control Home, and Control V. Now, the reason why I'm pasting the descriptions is there because I want to sort these columns. So I want to sort by this description. I just want to sort this data. So now I'm going to go to sort. I want to sort based on the description. So the row numbers are not messed up. Okay, so now I have what I want and it's sorted, so I can build my BOM from that. So back in SAP, to build a BOM, remember if I'm going to build like an assembly BOM or like for consumables, you need to create the assembly first, an MMP1. And I'm just going to call it consumables. Some companies don't allow words. You'd have to just have the next number in the auto number system. But then you can give it a description anyway. Okay, so I got consumables and save. Because now that assembly exists, I can create the BOM, put the materials into that assembly. So here it comes up empty. What I'm going to populate it is from my Excel spreadsheet. So this is the data I want to bring in. So I need those 3 columns. I need the item category, component, and quantity. So the row numbers, basically, I marked a yellow because that's the maximum I can fit on the screen. So I have to do it screen by screen. Now, if you're doing this repetitively, you can select the data that you want to bring across, like this data here, and give it a range name. So I can call this one data 1. Also called it chunk 1, but this is a demo. So that data, next time I want to select it, you can use the range name. So my template would make it really easy to select the data. So that's the range that defines for my screen. So I can go Control C, and then here in the item category, paste, and then hit enter, and the data appears, and it's all alphabetical. And I see some of these are assemblies. Now I go page down by clicking in the gray area of the scroll bar, and then go grab the next chunk, chunk 2. Control C to copy, and Control V to paste, and then page down. I think I just have one more chunk to do, chunk 3. Now I'm going to intentionally make an error and grab too much. I don't need these blanks. So watch what happens if I grab too much when I paste. Those blank rows down below are going to be in error mode because there's no material number. But just have to hit the escape key for each one, and the problem's solved. There you go, my BOM's built. Save. So that consumable BOM, I want to attach it to something. I want to attach it to a building. So I'm going to go into function location structure, find a building, so say in a corporate office, I want to attach to this building too. So when I'm in that function location, I go in pencil mode to edit it, and under structure, I'm going to put this new BOM, consumables 2, and save. So now, normally you wouldn't see that triangle right away. You'd have to hit refresh. So now when I open this function location, I can see that it has a consumable BOM and all the items inside it. So now maybe I want to associate that consumable BOM to a task list. So I'm going to go into task list I've already have here. It has a construction type on the header, but on the operation, for each operation, you can also have an assembly. Now that assembly can be anything, like the parts for that job. In this case, I'm just going to put consumables for all those. They have spare parts and consumables. So that task list, 76, I can now pull it into a work order and show you the effect that that would have in a work order. So if I make a new work order, normally you do it to the proper equipment. And to pull in the task list, because you see there's no components here, there's no operation. If I want to pull in that task list or to simulate what it would happen in a work order created from a task list, I just go task list and say I want to pull in 76, task list 76, and it pulled in the parts for that are already defined on that task list, but it's also on the operation. You'll see it's populated what's called the assembly BOM on that. And that's under general. You'll see that there's an assembly connected to the operation. So there's actually two BOMs essentially associated to this. Now, what that does is the first BOM, the main equipment BOM on the header of the task list, feeds this button, the list button. That's the spare parts list that we've done in a lesson earlier. That's my spare parts. And that assembly feeds this button. The assembly on the operation feeds this button. So you pick an operation, and whatever assembly is associated with the operation comes up. So I can buy my consumables for that job. So it just makes it easier to also buy consumables as needed that are necessary for that job or other assembly parts. And that's it.